Greetings, it's August 25th and rain at Big Bar, rain at Begbie. We are looking at the Drive BC highway cams. The link and shortcuts to these cams are in the description below. No rain west of Prince George, some smoke and haze in the air, but rain east of Prince George. No rain at Hell's Gate, no rain at Cache Creek. A lot of smoke and haze in Field next to the Rockies. And then Sparwood looking southeast towards Waterton Lakes. A lot of smoke and haze there. Highway 24 at Sheridan looking west, rain. And in the lower mainland, this is Portman Bridge, rain. So it depends on where you are. There's these bands of moisture. The wind is flowing from the west to the east, pushing all the smoke and haze up against the Rockies, and some places are getting dumped on. 10 kilometers away, it's dry. The computer models on windy for precipitation over the next 10 days, building up along the coast, pushing from the west to the east, and we can see these moisture pockets that are building up in the southern interior and in the northern portion of the province. Good for Telegraph Creek, good for the area around Cassiar. We'll have to wait and see. We'll jump over to NASA's World View. The link is in the description below. A little too early for the satellite imagery today, but we can see a definite reduction in the MODIS infrared being displayed from yesterday, what we're looking at right now. A lot of these cloud bands are moving in. That does obscure infrared, but at the same time there's cooling going on, and we'll take a look at the NRC data, and there is a reduction in the infrared even in those areas not covered by cloud. But first, one of our viewers was commenting that he caught the telltale scent of white pine coming from Bastion Mountain. Looking at BC Wildfire Service, there is a new start there. This is at Sicamous Salmon Arm. However, on the infrared, there's no indication of fire there yet. We'll keep watching that. And that's why I strongly recommend go to the BC Wildfire Service map, see where the new starts are, because infrared doesn't always pick up everything. Let's jump over to the NRC data for today, and there's full-on 24 hours, 12 hours, 6-hour maps, and a definite reduction in the infrared visible. We can also see those fires on the Manitoba-Ontario border. They're lighting up quite a bit. And zooming into British Columbia, we see those clusters in the central region, Fraser Plateau, Nechako Plateau, and then down in the southeast, a lot of activity there. We also see on Vancouver Island. But up north, a reduction in the amount of visible infrared. We've moved into the 6 and 12-hour maps, looking at the most recent data. There's a few new spots up in the north around Cassiar, then around Nazco in the center of the province, and then in the southern portion we're seeing around Eastgate, Princeton, then over towards Nakusp. We can see some new spots near Creston at that Blazed Creek fire. But this is definitely one of the more subdued 6 and 12-hour maps that we've seen recently. We've zoomed into the central region of the province, looking at the full 24 hours, and now we've rolled into the 6 and 12-hour map, and just those fires near Nazco, a couple of spots near the Narcosley fire southwest of Quesnel. Moving down south, the 24-hour map. Here we see that activity in the center of your screen around Carameus, Princeton, and then just to the right of center we see those fire pockets on the lower Arrow, upper Arrow Lake between Castlegar and Nakusp. It's still quite busy in the northern portions of Washington State, Idaho, Montana. That's where these lightning bands went through almost 2 weeks ago. Then if we roll into the 6 and 12-hour maps, there's a definite reduction in recent activity. I like to verify with multiple sources. This is the RSAC radiative infrared, the fire radiative power, and this is as far as the page would upload before it crashed. Multiple tries, It's difficult to get on these systems. Each one of those hotspots has a complete database of information. However, I was able to get on the 750 meter VIIRS, and this is showing larger square blocks indicating where fire may be. The red hotspots are the most recent, 6 hours. The yellow are older, 24-hour hotspots. So not a lot of new activity. The fires are aging in place. We've zoomed into the area around Eastgate, Karamias, Olalla, and older activity being shown here. We've rolled into a screen a little bit further west, looking at Skagit Valley, Mount Hicks towards Agassiz, and then up towards Hells Gate and Coquihalla. Those fires are aging in place. Vancouver Island, these infrared have been there 24 hours or longer. No red dots, no new fire hotspots. Moving northwards up to the Chilcotin, west of Clean, and the Wild Goose Lake fire on the right-hand side of your screen towards 70 Mile House, Big Bar. It's difficult to say if there's a reduction in size of these fire pockets, but no new activity being indicated. Moving further north up to Tweedsmuir, the area around Nasco, a lot of yellow, a lot of 24-hour-old hotspots. Then we get into the area around Highway 16, Shovel Lake fire near Fraser Lake, the Verdun fire and Nadina. And if you look south of Unshaw, I am seeing some orange in there, some more recent hotspots, but generally in this region, aging fire hotspots, not showing new movement. We can see some of those orange 12 to 24-hour hotspots, primarily on the southern flanks and intermingled, and then over on Fraser Lake we can see some in the northeast corner moving to the east. This is infrared that's 12 to 24 hours old. Now we're moving further north along Highway 16, the area east of Smithers in the Babine area, aging hotspots as well. I realize these screens are going very fast. Please pause and take a look at your areas of concern. And finally, we're looking at Telegraph Creek. This is 24-hour infrared. These are 750 meter squares, and they may be off position depending on the refraction of the data being picked up by sensors. They could be off up to a kilometer away. So check on the BC wildfire map, check with Drive BC, and get on the ground data. We're jumping back to windy again, and as you can see, primarily from the west. Everything's pushing to the east, and with it, different rain pockets are coming in. Hopefully, if you need rain, you're going to get it, and you'll have to watch for lightning. There is a lightning monitor in the description below. A lightning warning system through Environment Canada is there as well. And then over in the Cache Creek, Spence's Bridge area, concerns about flooding and mudslides. So the seasons are slowly changing, the conditions are changing, and we have to remain vigilant over these existing fires while watching for new starts. I've zoomed into a screen. This is way out in the ocean to the west. We're looking at the Pacific south of the Aleutian Islands. This is what I believe they call a wind shear. You've got two different directions of wind colliding with a calm spot in the middle. And this is where our precipitation is coming from right now. And we'll make a quick jump southwards towards Hawaii. There's the hurricane. It's moving to the east in a northerly direction, showing 64 kilometers an hour at this marker, but as you get closer to the eye, the wind speeds pick up, and then there's relative calm within the eye. And finally, back in British Columbia, temperatures are actually warmer in the northeast than they are in the southwest. There's a vast distance between, but it shows how weather patterns are localized and how we're a complex of microclimates. So even though we have rain and a potential for flooding in some areas, Other regions will be drier. It's looking like a good weekend to go muck about, get in the yard, maybe see how the neighbors' banana trees are doing. Thank you very much for watching. Please be safe, everyone, and keep your nose to the breeze.